Okay, thank you. Okay. Thank you. So of course, for this kind of assessment, we'll have to move from summative to formative, and the system will be competency-based, promote learning. I think even evaluation has to become maybe a kind of practical oriented, right? And what's the vision of FLN is to enable the children to become independent and engaged readers and writers who are able to make a transition from learning to read to reading to learn. I think it's very catchy. Reading to learn and learning to write to writing for academic success and pleasure. So let's consider this. Many of us, I was already giving you the examples, can express their thoughts in learning, but they will not be able to express orally. And they can just read the passage, but they cannot understand what is the actual meaning of that passage. So it is rather, instead of learning to read, we'll have to read to learn what is there in that passage. I think one of you can give an example to justify this. Instead of learning to read, rather it is reading to learn.
Yes, ma'am. A learner has.
I want an example, friends.
Whenever the students were given the passages, first of all, the students read the questions instead of reading the passage first.
No, I don't agree. That is not learning to read to reading to learn. Not a good example, I felt, Nagraj.
Ma'am.
Yes.
A learner has to understand what he or she has read. That is what is important in learning.
Can you give a specific example?
If we give a story to read and ask him to say what he has understood, if he has understood the meaning, he will be able to repeat the story again. Otherwise, he will not be.
Okay, so he has to read meaningfully. I just give you an example, friends. The teacher said the student is a fool. So who is saying who is the fool? Understood what I said? Understood what I said?
Reference to context, no?
The teacher said the student is a fool. Who is a fool according to whom?
According to the student, teacher is the fool. The teacher said that he is a fool, Andre. That means teacher himself is fool anta artha kodtade.
Alla, adinne nanu heliddu. This is how you catch it. I can slow down at two places. The teacher said the student is a fool. Then
student is a fool.
No. The teacher said the student is a fool.
The teacher said to the student, somebody is fool like that.
I didn't say that way, Manisha. I didn't say the teacher said the student is a fool. I said, please, did you observe where I passed? The teacher said the student is a fool. The student is telling teacher is a fool. If I say the teacher said pass now, the student is a fool. This is one simple example I gave it, but the text will give different meanings to different people sometimes. Okay. I think recently, of course, I shouldn't quote political examples, but still I quote one example where some politician was telling that bring the people by paying 500 each. When that video was out, when the pressman asked, I was telling that other party will bring. Other party people will do so. So what I'm saying, this is reading to learn. Okay? Many a time, that text will have hidden meanings also is one thing. And if you take at the superficial level also, where is the pass? Look at the punctuation marks plus what meaning is it giving? Okay? Sometimes we will not have understood the meaning of it correctly. So we will have to read to learn from the passage, right? And it is writing for academic success and pleasure. There are different ways of telling. One person said he said he did not qualify net, but the meaning of his, or somebody says, I did not pass it. Okay, when I am referring to somebody, say I am saying, Rama did not pass. Sometimes instead of telling that Rama failed, I put it across as Rama did not pass. Both of them convey the same meaning, but the way I put it across is different. So let us write so that it gives me pleasure, or it doesn't bring, it doesn't make anybody get annoyed at it. So there are different ways of putting across. So let us learn the way we have to write. Okay? Because many a time we do mistakes, but those mistakes should be corrected in a sober way. Instead of making it very open or making it as a comment, I can say it as a suggestion. Do you feel it, instead of telling you are wrong, I will ask the person, do you feel you are right? Please think over once again. How is it? And asking and telling the person on his face, you are wrong. You'll have to change your ways. You are wrong. You'll have to mend your ways. Both convey the same meaning, that change the way you are talking now. But there is a difference in putting across the thoughts. I think you got it. So, whatever the child learns in mathematics, let us see that the child will utilize it or use it in the daily life. I just quote you one example. I don't know whether you feel that it's too much. When we were small children, like when I was in, say, 8th standard, I think all of us know that sometimes we fight and we will stop talking to it. In Kannada, we say, two bitidini, say bitidini. Two bitidini andre, maat, I have stopped talking to her. Say andre, I started speaking to her anta na aata aadta iddu. Avaga, we had groups among ourselves. So somebody asked me, like I had fought with another group. So I had stopped speaking to her. And another girl asked, no, you are still in that group. I still remember having told, I'm not even a tangent to that friend circle, but you are the biggest card of that circle. That means I don't even touch their circle. Tangent touches the circle at only one point, whereas card lies on the circle. So this language was used by me when I was in 8th standard, and I feel that credit goes to my teacher because it was taught so effectively that we were using it to explain. It was used as a simile. What I'm telling you is, hats off to the teacher. Let us teach in a way such that the children absorb it to the extent that they start using. But today what has happened? Today's so-called English medium graduated teachers teach in such a way that the students cannot differentiate between a two-dimensional and a three-dimensional object. The students do not know the fundamental concepts, but they get 90%, 91%. The secret of getting 90-91 many a time becomes only by hearting than reading. If this is the case, if this case is continued, definitely the bridges constructed by such civil engineers will collapse. The doctors who become doctors and lack basic concepts because they would have batted and given cannot make out how much to cut, because in the surgeries, they go by millimeters, not even centimeters. At that time, the doctor has to be very careful about the measure of how much to be cut, how much to be stitched, etc. So this basic numeracy, foundational literacy is a must. So way forward, what our ministry is doing, the Ministry of Education, that is Human Resource Development at the center, has already launched National Initiative for Proficiency in Reading with Understanding and Numeracy. It is called Nipun Bharat. Of course, Nipun means proficiency also. So mission, along with the detailed implementation guidelines for the states to ensure that every child in the country attains the necessary foundational literacy and numeracy, that is FLN, by the end of grade 3 by 26-27. So this is the mission. Through this mission, we want to see that our children attain FLN by the time they come to grade 3. Sorry, by the time they finish their grade 3. So let us see how they have gone about. For this, the learning outcomes have been defined for 6 years in continuum in 6 levels from preschool to grade 3, because now kindergarten is also included. So 3 plus 6, 9 years. Okay. And it has also set the targets for each class from Balavatika onwards. Balavatika or Anganwadi or kindergarten, whatever you call. It starts from the age of 3. Of course, still some mothers are still cautious. They put their wards to the school at 2.5 years only. The mission guidelines recommend shifting towards competency-based education and using school-based assessment for providing continuous guidance to teachers. Okay, this is the vision they want to achieve. So a robust IT system is recommended to be used for FLN mission for big data analytics at national, state, and school level. The FLN mission recommends leveraging Diksha, that is digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing, which is the national digital platform for school education in India, an initiative of NCERT and Ministry of Education to empower the teachers, because there should be sharing. 2 learning experiences may flash to me. Another 3 learning experiences may flash to Prashant. 5 learning experiences may be the idea of Dr. Manisha. When we share, so we'll have 5 plus 10 plus 10, etc. So this has to be done, and that is being done through Diksha, that is digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing, because I may not be able to meet either Suvarna or Prashant or Manisha face to face, but I can always try to share my ideas and learn from their ideas through sharing. So this is for empowering the teachers. A capacity development program for teachers and school heads is Nishtha FLN, and FLN will be launched by NCERT through Diksha online platform. Now, a 3-month school preparatory module is made ready by NCERT. This is Vidya Pravesh. This is called Vidya Pravesh. That means entering the system of education by NCERT. FLN is foundational literacy and numeracy. Guidelines also advocate engaging meaningfully with parents, families, and community to create awareness among them, also to engage them in the teaching learning process of their children. So I was telling you that of course, as a working woman, I may get just 3 or 5 hours a day to spend with my son, but I have to plan in such a way that even those informal interactions with my son would help him to develop his FLN in the same way. As a teacher, of course, I get a lot of time, but I create an environment through which it can be learned, right? FLM is oral language development in home language is mother tongue, appropriate exposure to the school language, including good listening comprehension skills, development of print and phonological awareness, and development of emergent reading and writing skills in the preschool years are crucial for language and literacy development. Why this is said is, of course, now again, the universities have written to the chairpersons of Board of Studies that try to see that the books are available in the regional language, that is in our state, in Kannada. This is based on the direction of the center as per NEP, even for college level. Even for engineering and medicine, they are making the books ready in Kannada. So the chairpersons of viewers have been asked to identify the writers who can translate. When this is the case, naturally, at the earlier years, the child has to learn in mother tongue, because only through mother tongue he can learn the best. Therefore, we have to see that we will provide opportunities for such a growth. The key components in foundational literacy are oral language development. This is speaking. Okay, I was telling you. Foundational literacy is not reading and writing, but expressing the thoughts. That is for communication. Then phonological awareness. This, I think you people are better than me, because I'm not from the language teaching domain. This domain includes competencies of word awareness, rhyme awareness, awareness of sounds within words, which should emerge from their meaningful engagement with language. I think I was telling you that the child learns the language through lip movement. Okay. I don't know, you people may not know. Actually, when the TV was introduced, we had one Kannada newsreader. She used to announce everything in the same way. No modulation of voice. She had the smile for everything on her face, even to announce that somebody has passed away. Then she was instructed that what is this? That newsreader is smiling even when she announces the death of some personalities. When it was told, she became very conscious. She used to keep her face very serious, even to say that India won against Pakistan in cricket. She used to keep her face very serious. So we should have that phonological awareness also. And I think you people are better. I have heard them. Like even for earth, it is earth. And when I say earth, the lip movement has to be observed. And many a time we say that it was thrown away. Okay, that thrown, that the way we pronounce thrown should indicate that it is being thrown. Okay, so there were happy moments. We raise our voice. So when to raise it, all that comes under phonological awareness. Decoding. This domain includes competencies of print awareness, akshara knowledge, and decoding. Okay. There, I think all of you might have seen, like that print awareness, we'll have to be very careful. There was one small clipping in the WhatsApp very recently. It was mother's lap. A first of S got misplaced. It became mother slap. See, instead of lap, it became slap. Okay. So we will have to be in print awareness. And akshara knowledge is where to put the punctuation marks. The same example which I gave you. The teacher said the student is a fool. That means the teacher is a fool. The teacher said the student is a fool. One more quotation like that. Hang him not, spare him. What does it mean? Should he be hung or let free? Hang him not, spare him.
Ma'am, if the comma is after not, then don't hang him, spare him. If it is hang him, comma, then it is to hang him.
Good. Hang him, not spare him. Hang him not, spare him. Phonological awareness should also be there. Where the punctuation mark should come, that is also there. Okay. Now, vocabulary. This domain includes competencies of oral vocabulary. There are two words or more than two words for the same meaning, but we have to be careful when we use it. In Kannada, I think some of you are from Kannada. Most of you know Kannada language. We say, Yaro nimanna karita idare banni. Correcta? ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಕೂಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಬನ್ನಿ. ಯಾವ್ದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್?
ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಯಾರೋ ಕರಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಬನ್ನಿ.
ಕರೀತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ, ಕೂಗ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಅದು ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ತರ ಇದೆ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್
ಬೇಡ, ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ
ಹಾ
somebody is calling you.
ಹಾ
ಕೂಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ
ಕರೆಕ್ಟಪ್ಪ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಕೂಗ್ತಾ
ಅಲ್ಲ,
ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ವಿತ್ ಅ ಲೌಡ್ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಸಂಬಡಿ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ. ಕರೀತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಅವರು ಬನ್ನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಕ್
ಅಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಕರಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮೇಡಮ್.
ಅಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಕರೀತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ
ಮೇಡಮ್. ಅದು
ಎಣ್ಣೆನಲ್ಲ ನೀರಲ್ಲ
ಮೇಡಮ್, ಅದು
ಎಣ್ಣೆನಲ್ಲ ನೀರಲ್ಲ ಕರೀತಾ ಇರೋದು.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಕೂಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು
ಕರೀತಾ
ಆಡು ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ
ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಎಣ್ಣೆನಲ್ಲ ನೀರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಯಾವ್ದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್
ಮೇಡಮ್, ಹತ್ತಿರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದು ಹತ್ತಿರದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಕರೆದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೋ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ನ ಕೂಗ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ತುಂಬಾ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಅದ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಮೂರನೇವ್ರು ಯಾರೋ ಕಳ್ಸಿ ಅಥವಾ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅವ್ರು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾವು ಯಾರು ಕರೀತಾ ಇದಾರೋ ಅವರು ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ದೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಕರೀತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಕೂಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಯಾರು ಕರೀತಾ ಇದಾರೋ ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಕಣ್ಣಳತೆಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸಿ ಬೆರಳು ತೋರಿಸಿ ಸನ್ನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡಿ ಅವ್ರು ಕೂಗ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಮೇಡಮ್.
Okay, that is why I said we have to have good vocabulary, I mean voluminous vocabulary, so that we use the right terms. Why I am saying is Devaraju's explanation was correct.
Madam?
Yes, Pramila?
Yeah, no, his explanation was correct. No, okay, I don't want to tell anything further.
Huh?
His explanation was correct. He told, no, I don't want to tell anything further.
No, it's all right. Let me say, let me take it back. You tell now.
No, madam, I was thinking that when we speak now, in my Kannada, we used to...
Not audible.
ಕೂಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. But madam, can you hear me?
Only we heard two words. ಕೂಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
That is what. Can you hear me now, ma'am?
Now we can hear you. Till now we couldn't. Yes, tell me. I think some communication problem. Okay.
Hello.
Huh.
Am I audible?
Now you are audible.
I told the answer. Is it correct?
We couldn't hear.
I don't know. Nobody can hear me. Hello?
No, ma'am, no.
Madam,
No.
we have not heard you.
I don't know, sir. Something wrong with my.
I think some network.
Okay, it's okay. Continue,
Your
ma'am.
voice is breaking.
Maybe, ma'am.
Okay, we'll move further.
Okay,
Reading
okay.
comprehension. This domain covers the competencies of understanding text, retrieving information from them, etc. So again, you'll have to comprehend the meaning of the text. Okay. Then reading fluency. It refers to the accuracy, the speed, expression, etc. So I was telling you how with modulation of voice, we can say, or we can make it as either teacher as a fool or a student as a fool. Okay. So all these have to be taken care of. I think if this is taken care of, lawyers will have very less work. Agreed? Because how we draft the, how we write it, like whether it's giving full meaning. So the accuracy with which we read it is very important. Then concept about print, children need to exposure different types of print rich environment to develop the skill of comprehension. So this is about, I think all of us are familiar with that example where we show one picture. Sorry, I didn't bring it. I mean, if you look at it from one side, or if one, sometimes it looks like a flower vase, sometimes it looks like the faces of two ladies. So which are the different skills of printing which can make the meaning same or different. Writing this domain includes the competencies of writing aksharas and words as well as writing for expression. I think all of you know about those incidents where wrong leave letters are there. Like, I'm going on leave because I got only one mother-in-law, such meaning. And one thing I'll tell you, one of my colleagues had written the leave letter that please grant me 1 day leave, L-I-V-E, not L-A-V-E, L-I-V-E. So there are different meanings like that because we'll have to be very careful when we write it, especially I think in physics, we all know whether it is into or out of it, it will have different meanings, okay? Like biotic, abiotic, such words are there. So we'll have to be, and interrelationships are interpersonal, intrapersonal. So at the outset, it looks as though inter means within the person, but interpersonal is for the relationship between two persons. Intra is for the person within himself. So such words are there. We'll have to be very careful. Culture of reading or inclination towards reading involves the motivation to engage with a wide variety of books and other reading materials. Okay. So, and when you say with respect to phonetics, etc., there is one joke, two ladies will be speaking to one another. Then the Andhra lady will ask Kerala lady, what's your husband doing? And she says, auditor. For auditor, she says, auditor. And this lady feels, ayo papa, when did it happen? Because, no, auditor, she says, how long ago will be the repeated question of this person? Because for audit, I don't know how many people from Kerala are here. Anybody there from Kerala? Kerala state in this group, participants? Do we have participants from Kerala in this group? No, because nobody is saying yes. If Keralites pronounce auditor as auditor, and this lady thought auditor means passed away. So we'll have to be careful about the phonetics. So foundational literacy, reading is comprehension, but we should make it a joyful experience for the child. Listening and speaking with comprehension. With comprehension is very important. And listening skill also is very, very important. Many of us can't listen for more than 2 minutes. This is our drawback. And sometimes these people, like always, there will be a fight between me and my husband. My husband says, allow me to complete. I tell him, you pass so much in between. I thought that he had given a full stop, but his pauses will be long. So those who speak should also keep it in the mind that they should not have long pauses. And listeners should also always keep in mind that we should give enough time to the person who speaks. And a good communicator is the one who can listen well and for a longer time. Okay. So this is for writing for various purposes, like it may be even purpose of writing may be to reflect upon the experiences of a child. Okay. So this is how we try to make foundational literacy a meaningful one. Then foundational numeracy and mathematics skills. This is development of pre-number and number concepts, knowledge and skills of comparing, seriation, classification, recognizing. So for pre-number, like we'll have to give them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 10, 9. So we'll have to make the child well versed with the gradation or the serial order, classification, prime numbers to one side, or figures like geometrical figures like rectangle, square, etc. on one side, then solids on one side. So all these will have to be taken care of, and enough number of experiences should be given for the child. Now, here the mission is attaining foundational literacy and numeracy for the children. Sorry, it's going little out of the frame. And how to do it? We have got some activities here. Okay. Child explores and learns from the activities, both indoor and outdoor, that is through puzzles, logical thinking, problem solving, painting, etc. So we'll have to have this kind of games, building blocks, or some funny stories. Okay. So these kind of activities we should give to the child. And Pancharatna Kate, all those things where the children will get to know about ideas also. Mathematics and computational thinking is to be given increased importance. Exposure to different language at this stage is but with the major focus on the mother tongue, because all the languages are gateways of knowledge. Of course, I am a Kannadiga, I give a lot of importance to my mother tongue. But if I stick on to Kannada and take a decision that I read the books only in Kannada, then I'll be depriving myself of so many sources of knowledge which are there in English or Hindi. Okay. And how do we do it? It's through Anganwadis, that is during 3 to 5 years, strengthened in terms of pedagogy, and with activity-filled tours and appropriate strategies. The key components in foundational literacy skills are pre-number concepts, that is count and understand. How do we do it? Even when I start giving cakes or biscuits, I ask him to count. Numbers and operations on numbers, learn conventions needed for the mastery. So I give him 5 chocolates, ask him to share 4, what is remaining. Though it looks informal, I have planned all this so that my son learns. And learn measurement, understand the use of standard algorithms to perform operations of addition, subtraction, etc. Shapes and spatial understandings. This is very, very important. Spatial reasoning is a must for the child because we use it. We use it as mechanical engineers, as scientists, as civil engineers. Spatial reasoning is a must. A tailor also uses it. A civil engineer also uses it. A mechanical engineer also uses it. So how we take care of the spaces, whether the child has got the difference, has understood the difference between volume or say area and total surface area. Can anyone give me how to help them understand it? Understood what I said? Understood what I said? For spatial understanding. Yes? Is it Prashant who wants to answer?
right? To understand about, can you hear me? Can you hear me,
I
ma'am?
can hear you, Pramila.
Okay. You want how to explain area and difference between area and total surface area, right?
Okay, that also okay. Okay.
No, what exactly you asked, ma'am?
I want you to give examples wherein the child can get the different, can understand the spatial reasoning.
Okay.
That we
No,
have
I'm
to do.
telling.
What you are doing is saying is also right.
No, mine is not spatial reasoning. Just I wanted to, I thought you were asking like this area
Okay,
and
you
total
tell me
surface
that.
area. Okay, one rectangle if we draw and ask the child to find area, like he can draw in the graph paper and he can find area of that rectangle. But if we want to find the total surface area of the cuboid, then there are how many rectangles they have to, the child should count 6 rectangle, whatever rectangle is there, and each and every rectangle's area and has to be added. Then child understood, oh, this is total surface area and this is area.
Okay, Pramila, what type of learning experience can you give it there? Okay, I'll tell you. See, you can make solids which has hinges and can open up. Then they will get the idea like how many rectangles and squares make up a cuboid.
Okay, I have to learning experience you're having. You're telling
Yes.
I can actually bring one cuboid and show the child there are 6 faces in this cuboid, and each and every face is nothing but a rectangle. Therefore, you count all the faces and each and every rectangle's area has to be found.
I will tell you, instead of you telling it as a teacher, I'm telling you, just don't bring a cuboid.
Paper, madam, I can do like this. Paper cutting. Paper cutting, that's what paper cutting can be done. And the paper cutting, like, and folded, it becomes cuboid.
See, instead of paper cutting, bring maybe out of made out of this thick cardboard or thin cardboard, whatever it is.
Open it.
Hinges. It should have hinges so that it can be opened.
That's what I'm telling, madam. Same. That is what exactly I'm telling. I used to have that same thing. The hinges you are telling us, same thing. Paper cutting I used to have. If you fold all the papers, it becomes a cuboid.
Yes. Then the child arrives at the definition of a cuboid by himself. Like how is it formed? He observes that there are 2 squares, 4 rectangles. So it is formed by these 4 faces. How to find the area? He will only say the area of first phase, second phase, third phase have different colors for different phases. Maybe light blue, navy blue, another blue for 4 sides, or 4 types of greens for the rectangles, blue for the square faces, so that they will arrive at the formula also by themselves and they will get the idea of 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional. Okay. So patterns, they learn the vocabulary of relational words. Even this can be done through that cube or cuboid or whatever, whichever solid we have brought. The child will say how they are related and how to arrive at the formula. And I think if I remember, I don't know what you are doing now, but my experience as a student and my experience as a teacher educator, we were making it compulsory to write the construction of any geometrical figure. In words also we were supposed to write. When we write in words, then he will use the right expression, the right terms, etc. So foundational numeracy is like this. To make him competent in counting, we provide. And for the development of mathematical thinking, of course, to show that 7 objects are there, the various learning experiences are given in this I don't know whether I'm pointing out whether I don't know whether it's seen. So by putting values and by giving 7 stars, 7 cells being filled, then writing it as 7 and having dies in which 7 dots are seen, so etc. So these are the different ways in which we can make the students learn the concept of 7 or number 7. And this is for the stars and the numbers. See, there are two things here. This is informally also at home. I am teaching my child about shapes, about colors, about numbers. I think 3 things can be taught through her own dresses. So we try to make the child understand all the 3 concepts, maybe through these examples. And this, what I said, this is for the colors. We have 3 primary colors, and through these colors, the child can arrive at other different colors, and also the child will be able to identify the proportion with which these colors can be created. Can you add any other point here which can be taught through this learning experience? Got my point? One thing is this can be used to help them to identify the colors and the proportions through which different colors can be created with little white, with little blue and more of yellow, which color can be created. So this is one with respect to color. Can you suggest me anything else which can be taught through this? I want everybody to react. I think everybody to respond. Some of you had, I think, very heavy meal that you are dozing off there. You have switched off your mobiles. Sorry, videos.
We can teach about volume, ma'am.
Good. How?
Just pouring the colored water into different cups. We can teach them how the volume is different or more less, like that.
Yes, good. Yes, we can teach that. Then
Length, length also, madam.
length. How?
Madam. The color of the water is different from initial water.
The color of the?
Color of the water from the initial water is different from second water.
No, that I think length cannot be taught there. Okay, we can.
Madam,
Yes.
We can teach national integrity. Like although we are different colors, basically it is made up of the ultimately the same 3 primary colors.
Okay, good. It didn't flash to me. You can also use it for the volume. You can also explain the shape of the container. Okay. Shapes can also be taught. And this is a playful puzzle appropriate for the children of age group 6 to 8. We can teach addition, subtraction, multiplication, division through this. Do you agree?
Yes, madam, we can.
We can, right? So only one figure is used. For example, addition, how many triangles are there? Okay.
Angles, type of triangles,
Type of triangles, angles,
half circle, radius,
and a division into how many parts is that semicircle divided, and into how many triangles this triangle is divided. So how many we will get when we add? So multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, everything can be taught through this, and it will be a playful activity for the child. He can remember, he can identify the shapes, that is geometrical figures. He can add, he can subtract, he can divide, he can multiply through this. Now, numeracy and mathematical understanding. So we'll have to visualize, and through spatial understanding, we can understand the space, size, and position. Position is with respect to those 4 quadrants. And mathematical vocabulary. This is very, very important. Instead of saying that when we divide 8 by 4, we get 2, we'll have to say the quotient is 2. Right? The quotient is 2. The factors are these. The LCM is this much. Right? So we'll have to use the actual mathematical terms. It should start from the beginning. I think all of us are aware of the term the students use for the box in which geometrical instruments are kept. Geometry box. Will we not say that? We call it geometry box. Geometry box. Is it geometry box?
no madam,
Geometry
geometry box.
It is instruments box, but we call it geometry box. I still remember the scene in which one of my students was teaching in a government school. Actually, in between calculation of interest, the division came. Because the students were not responding to her and I was sitting at the back, she was angry. She was tensed. She asked, and I repeat her statement. Melgade idiyalla idu number idನ್ನ ಈ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಈ ನಂಬರ್ ಇದರಿಂದ ಹೊಡೆದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹುಡುಗರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಗಾಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ರಕ್ತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅವಳಿಗಿನ್ನು ಕಪಿಗಳ ನಾನೇನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಅವಾಗ ನಾನು ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಮರ್ತೋಯ್ತು ಸಾರಿ
ಅದು ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅದು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಈಗ ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್
ಏನದು ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟೀಚರ್ ಏನ್ ತಪ್ಪಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿ
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಗ್ರಾಂಥಿಕವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಟೀಚರ್
ಗ್ರಾಂಥಿಕವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದಾರ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ತಪ್ಪಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ
ಭಾಗಿಸು ಪದ ಬಳಸಬೇಕಿತ್ತು
ಭಾಗಿಸು ಅನ್ನೋ ಪದ ಬಳಸಬೇಕು ಅಂಶ ಛೇದ ಅಥವಾ ನ್ಯೂಮರೇಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಡಿನಾಮಿನೇಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ ನ್ಯೂಮರೇಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋ ನಂಬರ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡಿನಾಮಿನೇಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಭಾಗಲಬ್ಧ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಈ ಟೀಚರ್ನೇ ಅಂಶ ಛೇದ ಭಾಗಲಬ್ಧ numerator, denominator and quotient. If she herself is not using, then how will the children get to know the mathematical language? ಹುಡುಗರು ತಪ್ಪಲ್ಲ ಇದನ್ನ ಇದರಿಂದ ಹೊಡೆದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರು ಅವರು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರ ರಕ್ತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರು ತಪ್ಪಲ್ಲ. The students are right because you don't say ಮೇಲೆ ಕೆಳಗೆ, don't say above the number below. It is the number in the numerator, the number in the denominator. When we divide the numerator by the denominator, we get a quotient. When we multiply 3 and 4, we get a product of. We don't say that. We say, ಹೊಡೆದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಗುಣಿಸಿದ್ರೇನು ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ, ಇದನ್ನ ಇದರಿಂದ ನೋಡು ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಸೈನ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೀವಿ. But we have to use the mathematical language because the students has to get it. See, mathematics is a subject where the symbols speak, but That symbol should have only one word for it. Only one word for it. Okay. And what will we get? What is that? Let us not say. We will have to say what is the product? What is the quotient? This is mathematical literacy according to me. Only if this is correct, the language will be correct. They have to have the number sense. Okay. So mathematical terminology as a part of daily language. And we have to have communication and precise communication. Please don't give the questions in the question paper. Describe the chemical reaction taking place. Describe is only for poets. Ask him, explain. Okay. So don't, ಈಗಲೂ ನಾವು ಬರಿತೀವಿ ವರ್ಣಿಸಿ, ವರ್ಣಿಸೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಕವಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು. ನಮಗೆ ಉತ್ತರ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಬರಿಬೇಕು. ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಹುಡುಗನ್ಗೆ, all of you know Kannada in the group?
No, madam. There are
one student was asked by the teacher to explain how he spent his holidays in summer. The summer was for 2 months. The child started, I went to my native place during summer. I boarded the bus. Sorry, I boarded the train. The train started, chukku buku, chukku buku. Till the next page and it was chukku buku with different, with different modulation. At the end, I reached my native place, spent the holidays, enjoyed the holidays. Will you give him the marks? Why not Suvarna? Because you have said that you write, how did you spend holidays? He has written. For him, the joy was strained. That's why I'm telling, your questioning should be in such a way that it elicits only one answer. Though I'm really furious with the question papers our teachers give. Enumerate the merits and demerits. I enumerate 4 merits. Prashant enumerates 6 merits. You can't give more marks to Prashant because I don't know. Some teachers say, marks nodi andaj madkolak agalva. Illa. According to Suvarna, half a mark for each point. According to Harshalata, 1 mark for 1 point. So you ask the question correctly. There should not be any ambiguity. Yes. A good question is... Sorry. Okay. Now, making the learners competent in doing meaningful reading by writing, meaningful reading and writing by the time they come to 3rd standard. Developing the basic understanding and competencies related to numeracy and developing the skills among the learners to amalgamate the outside school experiences in the classroom learning. I was telling you, we see so many things in the nature, right? We will have to amalgamate those learning experiences in the classroom. For example, while coming, he comes across a flyover. He comes across a bridge. In what shape the bridge was? Try to relate the geometrical figures with the bridges the student has shown. When I was teaching 8th standard student, I was teaching them the effects of heat, and I told them when you heat a substance, it goes to the higher state of matter. Immediately my student asked, Miss, we prepare anna at home, but we use liquid, but it becomes solid. You are telling the reverse. How is it possible? For 1 minute, I was perturbed. I didn't know what to say, but I took some time and I told him, I am telling you about the physical changes because only physical change will be there because of heat. But in the case you are telling, there is a chemical reaction taking place between the rice and the water. So we have arrived at rice, which is solid. This is not a physical change. And I was teaching that point doesn't have breadth, length, etc. Immediately, one of my students stood up and asked, then is it not existing, miss? I think you got the point. I said the point doesn't have length, breadth. His question is, if it doesn't have length and breadth, how is it existing? Then I took some time, then I told him it is in nanometers, very much less than a millimeter. So it is difficult to measure. Therefore, we say it. So I had to use the term, its length is negligible, its breadth is negligible. Here comes the literacy. I was wrong because I should have used the term, it is negligible. Okay. All the mischievous doubts of the students will be eye-opener for the teacher, so that when there is a question like that from my student, I'll have to correct my statements. Okay. Now, so need of FLN, because these are the number students sampled, then the number of teachers sampled, and this is the problem, that is increased drop-off rate and inappropriate language and mathematical skill is found among 58% language problem, 53% mathematics problem. Okay, so this will have, this is, I should have started the presentation with this slide. I thought of it, I forgot. So this is where the need for FLN is justified. Now, curricular expectations, pedagogy should include playway and experiential activities, and numeracy, numbers and spatial understanding should be increased. Resources locally developed as per national guidelines. You can use many things. Can you tell me one or two examples where we can use the natural materials for teaching literacy or for FLN?
Can you repeat the question, ma'am?
I'm telling you that we have to make use of the resources, local resources for FLN, that is foundational literacy and numeracy. How can we do it?
For literacy, I can tell the child to narrate a story or what happened in the home, you tell in that particular language. So,
okay, good. But for numeracy or for even foundational literacy, things available locally or any resources. I don't say material resources only.
So he can understand for in front of the child or his numeracy in the table or in the school itself.
What?
Like pencil, count the number of pencils in your pencil box, something like that.
Okay, I'm telling you the resources locally available.
Acha, resources. Okay.
Others also. Why Prashant and others are you sleeping?
No, counting a marbles.
Counting a marble. Oh, you mean to say the marbles available in the road?
Yes, he's right. That crushed stones. And
crushed stones, good.
Hunshen gotte, madam.
Okay, Hunshen gotte one.
Hunshen gotte, madam. That is tamarind.
Gottaito. Okay, good. Then. See, I will tell you, you can make a graph by having one old iron board. If somebody has done it as for this holdings they will use, no, that you can take, you can paint it, you can paint the graph sheet on that, and locally if you find, you can go to these magnet manufacturing people, they will have some crude pieces, they will just throw it you can bring it and you can attach it, you can fix it to a piece in which the numbers are written. That you can use for graph as well as for place value. Okay. So like that we can make use of for developing all this. So ELPS approach, experience with physical objects, L, spoken language that describes the experience, pictures that represent the experience, and through symbols, that is S, we generalize those experiences. You can see how the things are made use of. Okay. Now, SPM is school preparation for module, preparatory classes for Balavatika. So 3 months play-based learning for grade 1 students. Activities are for sounds, words, alphabets. So you can see how they are doing it to be, of course, I heard they are already prepared. So the resources, setting up of school and public libraries in report areas, digital libraries, that is Diksha we were talking about, and workbooks and activity material, then national book promotion policy. And peer tutoring, one-to-one peer tutoring is extremely effective. So among the students only, it can be taken as a voluntary and joyful activity for fellow students under the supervision of trained teacher. Of course, teacher should be there, otherwise they may fight. Every literate member of the community could commit to teaching one student how to read. It would change the country's landscape very quickly. So high quality resources are the books, library, etc. So academic approaches in improving FLN, that is, we have many children who are first generation learners, so we can do all this. So learning outcomes, assessment for learning. So we'll have to change our evaluation system, adaptive assessment, formative assessment, school-based assessment. Then setting up of implementation of universal FLN, highest priority should be given. There should be a team to prepared by state and UT governments. Okay, so the objective is based to ensure inclusive classrooms, to enable the children to become motivated. So all these experiences which we are taught of. Okay, so if you have any doubts, we have got some 4-5 minutes. Actually, I wanted to have at least 10 minutes for discussion. So now tell me how best you can do it in your schools. Other experiences other than what we have discussed till now.
Yeah, madam,
providing the
my submission is that according to the NEP 2020, Anganwadi workers or teachers with qualification of 10+2 and above shall be given 6-month certificate program, that is ECEC, as well as 1-year diploma program if there will be implemented. The early intervention and FLN will be achieved effectively. So it will be regularized or only from the Diksha portal given this type of courses. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, others? Any practical activity you want to suggest other than what we have discussed till now?
by playing games.
By playing?
Games.
Like?
Sudoku oriented.
Huh?
By playing games, ma'am.
Which game? Okay, thank you all. It's time up. 5 minutes. 5 minutes are there.
Madam, rhyme is an example. Rhyme is very much good source for pre.
Okay,
and this,
rhymes.
yeah,
Then-
yeah, yeah.
Then
And NCRT is also developing this type of, I think so.
okay, through rhymes, even science can be taught. Then
Through the activities, how the way you present the rhyming
I
words
want the
through
examples to be specific, Mohammed.
Yes. Am I audible, ma'am? Can I
Yes.
speak? Yes. When you're talking about approaches or the test tube and the color combinations that you showed,
Yes.
primary colors and secondary colors,
Yes.
could it also be extended, like we are thinking of teaching mathematical concepts like color also, but volume and all. Through that, can we have an integrated approach where you also introduce them to vocabulary, or then extend it to their personal experiences, where do they see the color yellow in their own environment? So
Very
it could be simple like flowers, or maybe the bananas that they eat, but something that they can associate it.
Very good. So
Could that
see,
be?
you can teach biology, you can teach physics also through that. You can teach the geometrical shapes also. So that integrated approach, or you can use it exclusively in your own subject classes. That one learning experience can be used to teach so many things. So let me, as you said, Akshata, that we will be attaching it with the day-to-day life. Like every day you come from the school, where do you see these cone-like structures? Where do you see these spheres? Where do you see circles? It may be even in the fruits we eat, or the buildings we see, or the dress I wear. On the dress, that print is there. Like this, the teacher has to always relate it to. The teacher should always relate it to the day-to-day life. It is not alienated. See, I cannot alienate my subject from life. Life is there in all the subjects. All the subjects are there in day-to-day life. So my student can learn the best and can remember forever through this experiential learning by linking everything to day-to-day events. Not only that, he can use it in his life. The actual aim of teaching is my students will use whatever they learn in the classroom in their life. It is not like a student who gets distinction in BSc with physics, maths, and chemistry can't fix a light bulb to the socket. It shouldn't be like that. Like the son gets 100 of 100 in mathematics, but the father goes to a person to see how much he has to invest to get the exemption, to get rid of the tax. Son is there, MSc mathematics, but he knows only calculus. He cannot calculate the simple thing here. It shouldn't be like that.
There is a mismatch between learning to know and learning to do, madam.
Yes?
There is a mismatch between learning to know and learning to do.
Very good. So it should be interwoven. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. I think it's time up that I'll have to give you. Now we are getting 30 minutes of tea break. 3:15 to 3:45. Huh?
Yes, madam.
Okay, that I heard it's because of online, it's difficult to see. So have it.
Related to games.
Huh.
Dear friends, if you don't have any questions, please extend vote of thanks to madam. Hello?
Shall I, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
On behalf of the UGC-HRDC, University of Mysore, I am thankful to the madam, your valuable lecture and your valuable time. It must be a great addition to our knowledge to teaching learning. And basically, we are moving to the foundational literacy and numeracy in the light of NEP. Thank you so much, madam, for
Thank
your
you.
valuable talk and lecture. Over to the HRDC. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
You know.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hope to see you in person. Then online.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Shortly, we will meet, madam.
Okay, thank you.